everyone, and you're live.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of Judicial Dollars and Cents. We are at the PILMMA Super Summit event in San Antonio, Texas. And today with us, we have Eric from Root Advertising. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome. So we're just here at PILMMA. Is this your first time here?
I'm sorry?
Is this your first time at PILMMA?
No, this is probably, we were talking about that last night. We're probably 10th or 11th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, time. Yeah.
Awesome.
We're old timers, I guess.
Okay. And what are your takeaways from this event?
It's good. It's good. You know, they hosted in a couple of different cities. This is the first time in San Antonio. I like it. Honestly, first time I've spent a lot of time in San Antonio. We have a client here, but that's usually a day trip meeting.
Sure.
So I've enjoyed it. The hotel's great. The speaker lineup has been really good.
Yeah.
You know, seeing a lot of familiar faces in the exhibit hall. So that's always fun to catch up with everybody. So,
yeah. Awesome.
Thumbs up for them.
Great. Yeah. And you mentioned you have a client here. Are your clients all across the country? I know you're based out of New Orleans.
We're based out of New Orleans. We're 29 years old. And yes, most of our clients are spread out all over the place.
Okay.
You know, a couple of categories depending upon the category spaces that we're in. If there's exclusivity, non-compete. So we're in different markets. So yeah, we have clients pretty much coast to coast at this point.
Awesome. And what started Root Advertising? What's kind of your origin story behind getting this up and running?
The real story is I was working at an ad agency. My background is media planning and buying on the paid side.
Okay.
Ad agency, they wanted to move our to another, I won't name a state or a city, and I didn't want to go. And so started it. And yeah, you know, focus on media. And this was in the late 90s when you had a lot of unbundling of agency services.
Yeah.
And, you know, it happened about a decade before on Madison Avenue where the big agencies were unbundling media. Media was, you know, becoming a big thing. That was my background. And so I launched, you know, it wasn't called Brew back then, but I launched it as a media agency. And we, you know, for the most part, the bulk of our income, the bulk of the work we do is still paid media.
Okay.
The strategy, the differentiation, the planning, the buying, the analytics, and the reporting and so forth, and just connecting the dots.
Yep.
So that way we can say, you know, media pays you back. You know, it's been the core of what we do. We in the legal space, we do a little bit more on the full service side, just because our clients appreciate the bundled aspect of it. But yeah, you know, we started out as a media agency. We just kept growing, and you know, just was a fun thing to do when I was single and you know, didn't have any kids.
Yep.
And I was like, this is kind of cool. It's fun, and just kind of morphed into something. And so, yeah, here we are 29 years later.
That's amazing. Yeah. And that longevity is amazing too, to keep that going.
It is.
And we talked a little bit before this, but you're not just in legal, you're in a bunch of different verticals there.
Yep.
And what's kind of something that you look differently to the legal space? Is there any specific metrics or things like that you look at for them? You
know, it's interesting because in my career, you know, 30 bunch of years, whatever, we've touched a lot of different categories. We've done auto, we've done, you know, healthcare, a lot of tourism, and legal space is just different, honestly. You know, the things that we use from a strategy and analyzing campaigns and so forth, and how we build campaigns, and healthcare, retail, consumer packaged goods, you name it, they don't normally apply in the legal space. The legal space is its own monster, and there's specific strategies and formulas there that, you know, vice versa, don't apply to healthcare world. So, and that's what makes it interesting, honestly. But that's also, you know, why we try to be a little bit more full service so that it can be turnkey, because it is different. And, you know, the people that are running, you know, the creative side for hospitals or shoe companies or something like that, they don't get the legal as much.
Right.
So, you know, they're not, it's not a good fit for them.
Right. Do you feel like you get a lot of good buy-in from lawyers whenever you start working with them? I think that's, you know, we have a service line as well, and for our financials, it's always having that communication with them of getting their buy-in of what we're trying to really do for them and seeing the benefit of it. Do you feel that same way for you all?
Yeah, lawyers want to have some buy-in.
Yes.
They do, and honestly, we require it. Believe it or not, when we're making presentations to potential clients, there's a section in that conversation which says, "This is what your obligations are to us.
Mm.
You know, you might be hiring us,
Yeah.
but you have obligations to us because it's a two-way street, and we can't do our look like the last 7 days. What's the most interesting observation point? What are you seeing over the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? And you know, the AI agent will sit there and filter through things in the blink of an eye, of course, and come up with ideas and thoughts. So it's breaking down the information, you know, in a much more detailed way than we could from a human standpoint in that amount of time. We could in a human way, but it would take us, you know, hours where, you know, AI can do it in you know, a fraction of that. So that's been extremely helpful. You know, we use it internally just for ideation, creation, bouncing ideas, brainstorming. There's still an enormous amount of human content and human work that goes on. You know, when we're really in the positioning and how to make a brand stand out, how can, and our thing is, you know, one, media has to pay you back. So if you're going to spend money, it's got to, you know, triple in return on your P&L as income. But we're also very focused on how a brand can win that decision moment when somebody's injured, somebody needs to make that decision. They're searching, they're looking for help. How do you own it? How does that law firm brand come top of mind and say, that's the one I want to work with?
Sure.
You know, so we're doing a lot of that, and we are using AI to kind of look at the market space. We are using AI to look at the competitive space. We are using it to kind of analyze the audiences. Now we're feeding it a lot of information from our own research and our own historical understanding of markets and how this industry works. But it's like having another thought partner at the table for us.
Yeah, that's great. And that's where we've seen that in our own firm as well, right? Like using that internally too, not taking the human element that we bring to the clients and that relationship and the we already talked about, but giving us support and making those decisions and helping them. So that's awesome.
It's been great. It's been great. Very helpful.
Yeah.
I don't think it's taken over the world. Not yet, at least.
Not yet. I think every industry, it feels like we're all still trying to make sure that human element has a place at the table as well with the AI. Yeah. Great. So you're from New Orleans.
Born and raised.
I have to ask, I've never been. I know.
Really?
I know it's crazy, but I've never
Terrible.
been.
It's a crime.
If I were to go, I mean, the main it's Bourbon Street.
Bourbon
right?
Street.
Is that like a have to, or is it kind of a?
So Bourbon Street is in the French Quarter. I tell people the French Quarter in New Orleans is arguably the most unique neighborhood in the country, and I don't think I'm wrong. And I am obviously biased, but the architecture, the history, the French influence, the Spanish influence. Bourbon Street is more or less the center street that runs down the middle of it.
Yeah.
And it's everything that you think it is or saw on TV.
Okay.
Go to it during the day. You get to see the architecture. You get the nightlife. The activity. You want to do it at night, great, but it becomes just a madhouse late at night. I'm too old for that. I used to do that in my high school days.
Yeah.
But you got to go do it at least once.
Okay.
Next to it is Royal Street. Tons of great shops, antique shops, and so forth. And then there's a lot of the old guard restaurants in the French Quarter on Bourbon Street, Galatoire's, Antoine's, Arnaud's, those kinds of, and just some fantastic food.
Okay, I love to hear that.
There's some great restaurants also in the Central Business District, which is in the next neighborhood, and the Warehouse District. So yeah, it's all in walking distance.
I love that. Because I'm born and raised in St. Louis, which has a little bit of that French influence, but I know it's nothing compared to what's down in New Orleans. So.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's such a, and that's the thing. When I graduated college, I had job offers in California, and I just I really want to be here.
Yeah. I
really want to do what I want to do, but I want to base it in New Orleans. It's just because it's such a great city.
Yeah, and that's. What amazing thing to be able to do that, to have your kind of that home, like most people, wherever they grew up, it's like, I want to get out of here.
Yeah.
Let me experience that basis there and feel really grounded there. That's awesome.
Yep.
Great. Well, Eric, thank you so much for joining us today. If any of the viewers want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that?
RouxAdvertising.com. It's ROUX advertising. LinkedIn, Facebook. You can email me, Eric@RouxAdvertising.com.
Awesome. All right, well, that's another episode of Judicial Dollars and Cents. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us on Judicial Dollars and Cents, presented by Anders Virtual CFO Services. If you found value in today's conversation, be sure to follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcast. To learn more about how Anders helps law firms strengthen their financial foundations and drive growth, visit anderscpa.com. Until next time, keep making smart decisions that make perfect sense.